7 hobbies to improve your life. Number 1. Learn piano. Piano teaches gradual improvement, patience, coordination, creativity. Most importantly, the ability to tolerate being bad at something until you're good at it. Beyond music, it teaches concentration, fine motor skills, and the ability to stick with something difficult. Number 2, study philosophy. Study the people who came before you, so you don't have to learn every lesson the hard way. Better critical thinking, philosophy teaches you to question assumptions instead of automatically accepting what you hear. Better decision-making, you start asking what actually matters here, instead of reacting emotionally or impulsively. Emotional control, especially with stoicism, you learn to separate what you can control from what you can't. Stronger values philosophy forces you to think about what kind of person you actually want to be, rather than just copying everyone around you. Perspective problems that feel enormous can look very different when you examine them from a wider point of view. I would recommend that we start with these 5 authors and books in order. Even just reading 10 pages a day will drastically change your life for the better. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. Probably the best entry point for practical philosophy. Discipline, handling adversity, ego, anger, mortality, purpose, and focusing on what you control. Epictetus, Enchiridion/Discourses. If Marcus tells you how a Stoic thinks, Epictetus explains why. Very direct. Distinguish what is under your control from what isn't, then act accordingly. Plato, Apology, and Selected Dialogues. This introduces the Socratic method, questioning your beliefs instead of assuming they're correct. Apology is especially accessible and asks a huge question: what is worth living for? Aristotle, Nicomachean Ethics. Excellent once you have a little foundation. Aristotle explores virtue, character, habits, friendship, happiness, and what it actually means to live a good life. His idea is essentially that you become good by repeatedly doing good things. Friedrich Nietzsche. Start with Twilight of the Idols. Nietzsche is useful because he forces you to challenge inherited beliefs, conformity, resentment, weakness, ambition, and what it means to create your own values. Number 3. Golf. Golf is more than just hitting a ball around for a few hours. It teaches patience, focus, and how to stay composed. And I believe the biggest advantage isn't even playing a sport. It's not about drinking with the boys and taking down the cart girl.
Oh my God. How do I hit?
But one of its biggest advantages is social. A round of golf can give you several uninterrupted hours with friends, co-workers, clients, or people you normally wouldn't get the chance to know. And in many professional circles, especially high-level, relationships are built outside the office. You don't need to become a scratch golfer. Learn the fundamentals, get comfortable on the course, and you'll develop a skill that can benefit you socially, professionally, and mentally for the rest of your life. Number 4. Learn a martial art. You're probably surprised I didn't say go to the gym, I bet. Although that is good, I promise you it doesn't outweigh the benefits of training a martial art. When I started working out too, I thought it would get me more attention from females, but honestly, you get a lot more guys complimenting you than anything. But if you can learn a discipline, doesn't matter what one specifically, boxing, BJJ, judo, wrestling, or anything, the core fundamentals are all the same. Keeps you in shape, builds tremendous confidence, could legitimately save your life someday, builds camaraderie with teammates, expands your friendship circle to people who share the same values. This will even translate into your professional life when you walk into a room full of coworkers, managers, CEOs, potential customers, and more with confidence and stature. People notice, even subconsciously. Number 5. Cooking is one of the skills that everyone on earth can share. Every man should be able to feed himself well without depending on takeout or someone else cooking for him. Not only does this skill actually save you money, if you learn to cook for yourself, it's probably one of the biggest ROI skills you could ever learn. It's easier to eat healthier when you cook for yourself, meal prepping for your goals. Being able to genuinely cook a good meal for friends, family, or even a date is a highly underrated skill. You should use this skill every day of your life. Do I need to say more? Number 6. Chess. Why chess? Chess teaches strategy, patience, foresight, and learning how to lose without falling apart. Everything in chess is your fault. There's no one else to blame other than yourself for mistakes, which is a real humbling thing to learn. I'm not saying you need to be Magnus Carlsen or Hikaru or even Gotham Chess, but learning to think before you move is a monumental skill in life that not many people have. This would translate in learning to think before you speak, thinking ahead for potential job interviews, questions you might receive at work. Not to mention how one bad decision can lead to a much bigger problem. But the satisfaction you can get when you plan even 3 to 4 moves ahead and your opponent doesn't see it releases a dopamine spike that no YouTube short can provide. Number 7. Building/fixing things. You don't need to become a mechanic, carpenter, or electrician, but every man should have some basic practical skills. Learn how to use tools, fix simple problems around your home, do basic maintenance on your car, and understand how the things around you actually work. Because every time something breaks, your first reaction shouldn't have to be, "Who can I call?" Sometimes it should be, "I can probably figure this out." Working with your hands teaches patience, problem-solving, and self-reliance. And there's a different kind of confidence that comes from knowing you can take something that's broken and make it work again. This is a massive skill gap most men have in this day and age, so learning this skill becomes even more valuable as time progresses. Start small, learn as you go, and become someone who is useful when a problem needs solving.